Hey guys, welcome back to the Back 40. What we're going to do today is make a 55-gallon oil drum wood stove for my outbuilding. If you guys like videos like this, hit the subscribe and like, and you guys will be notified for more videos in the future. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is heat this thing up really good so we can burn off all the old paint that was on the barrel. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in as it, burns for the first time in your shop, so you want to do this outside. Yeah, so the first step obviously is to get a fire going in there. Fire gets the barrel pretty hot, but adding a leaf blower to it, you can make that barrel white hot and you'll burn off all of the paint on the outside in far less time than you would if you just had a regular fire in there. And it was kind of fun. That thing was just flame and there was a lot of heat being produced by that. So anyways, after all the paint is burnt off, I went to the hardware store and I just picked up some high heat paint like you would use to touch up your barbecue grill or something, and painted the whole thing, made it look nice and everything, and even the flue pipes and stuff. But you can get these kits from Amazon, or you can even get them at Menards. They're pretty readily available and they're not that bad. I think they're like $50 and you can make your own. So the stove is pretty much where I want it in the shop. Kind of centrally located it, I had to put it in fairly quick because the guys with the insulation, they needed to know at the spot on the wall where not to put the insulation. Did a little test run with it. Man, this thing works really well. The room was empty and it was kind of warm. It was still like 60 degrees outside, but it heated it up to 80 or 90, no problem.
Hot, hot, hot.
All right, so it's about a month later. It's kind of cold outside. It's 34 degrees. Says feels like 25 going down to 24. And right now the building is at about 58, 59 degrees. So we're going to get a fire going in this puppy. And what I like to do is use my log splitter, a small log splitter, just to split regular firewood into kindling sized pieces. I like to put a little bit of oil on top of it's used motor oil, by the way. You can't use regular oil, just use motor oil. Put a little bit of that on top of it and kind of crisscross the logs so that there's air in between and the oxygen can bring the fire up. You can use whatever you want to start the fire. I mean, you could use cardboard, you could use paper and stuff like that, but I find that stuff, it leaves a lot more ash than wood would, and so then you have to clean out your stove a little bit more periodically. And if you see that can in the back right there, that's just a steel garbage can that I use to put all my ashes in, and then I will take that out on a four-wheeler or whatever and dump it in the forest in a spot where I want to build up the land or something. In addition to the used motor oil, I like to use a little bit of lighter fluid to get her started in the first place. The lighter fluid will help the motor oil catch on fire, and it doesn't take long, and that wood will be burning really good. I also just like to use a little propane torch so I don't have to stick my hand right in there. But this thing gets going, it gets going quick, and it's going to be hot. I like to leave the door cracked a little bit at first when I get the fire going. This way you just make sure that there's enough flow going upwards and you don't end up getting any smoke in your room. Alright, so it's been probably about 20 minutes since I had the kindling in there, and it says 668 degrees. That's pretty quick, that thing gets hot fast. You do not want to touch that barrel. It gets hot and it's going to stay hot for a long time. Alright, fast forward to about an hour later, and it looks like we've brought the temperature up a good 10 degrees at least and dropped the humidity almost 20%. So after you get the fire going, you don't have to keep a lot of wood in there. This thing is going to stay hot with just 2-3 pieces of wood going on there. Right there, that thing said high real quick. High means that it was probably over 760 something degrees. I think that thing only goes to before it kind of has like a default of it's too hot. But as you can see, there's not that much wood in there, and It's just, the temperature in the room is just gonna keep rising. Now we're looking at about, I don't know, close to 2 hours later, and we're almost at 70 degrees. So we've heated it up about 20 degrees in 2 hours. And if you want to keep this thing burning till the morning, just throw an 8-inch round 20-inch log in there and she'll be going in the morning. All right, man. Thanks for watching.